Yeah, so you just released your debut single. Congratulations. How does it feel to have it out there?
Thank it feels like a relief, basically. We've been working really, really hard over the years, and it's finally out, and it feels like a celebration, really, because Electric Rush it has a celebration of life, love, adrenaline. That's how we've been describing it. So it's a relief, truly, but I'm really, really happy, really, really happy.
Yeah, and you mentioned it's been like a work over the last few years. So how did you know when you were ready to put it out there?
Yeah, definitely. I think after COVID, well, I'm 22. So I really graduated high school and I went straight into COVID. So I like to think that my age group sort of missed out on their really formative adulthood years, basically, in terms of growing up. So really, I feel like I had to go through that to be able to produce music that really sounds like me and feels like I can express myself in a way that is my own voice, really. So, I had to go through that really.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And you touched a bit about the song being about, like love, relationships. So tell me more about like what inspired this song and what this song means to you.
Yeah. As I said before, I like to describe it as a song about love, life, adrenaline. It's about that process of finding who you are. And it started out really as like a forbidden love song. Where all these people have all these different ideas about our love, and I don't care. I'm just gonna love away, and we're gonna continue blossoming. And I actually after the song was written, I actually thought about it and I said, "Oh my gosh, it's actually really written from a point of view of going, I'm going to choose my own journey for myself in life." And I think we all have, whether it's inner demons or outside voices of society going, this is what you should do, this is what you should do. And it's all about sort of breaking the mold and sort of testing the limits and taking a risk. Yeah.
I think that's such a strong and powerful message, especially for your first release as well.
Thank you. Thank you. I definitely wanted that high-paced adrenaline celebration to it.
Yes. And you worked with Julian, who helped produce this track. So tell me more about that process and how that collab came about.
Yeah. So basically Julian and I met around a year and a half ago, and it just so happens that we work at the same recording studio at Red Door Studios up in Fitzroy in Melbourne. And we sort of bumped into each other one day and say, "Hey, we should do a co-write session. Let's test this out." Um and I kid you not, from day one, we got into the studio and we wrote a full song in 5 hours, like fully produced, fully everything. And um, I suppose it was just sort of divine timing in a way. And it had a feeling of going, oh my gosh, we understand each other and we understand our creative voices and we really just work together, really, really work together. And I know in an industry like this, it's you don't come across that sort of creative marriage very often. So very, very lucky, and he's one of my best friends now. So it's great.
Yeah, it sounds like impressive that you got it out in 5 hours, but it sounds like it was a very natural creative flow, which would have helped the process for sure.
Oh, definitely. I think it's like, how about this? How about that? How about that? And it's electrifying. Yeah.
Yeah. And before you released this song, you already had like a huge social media following just because like you released covers and things like that before. With that
Yeah.
following, did it feel like not so much pressure, but I guess like you had to be up to standard to put that song out there, or how did it go knowing that people were waiting for this release?
Yeah, definitely. It's something that definitely crossed my mind, but at the end of the day, Australia has such a beautiful way of approaching music in terms of it's just really, really homey, the feeling. And I suppose the followers that I had, they have been waiting a while, and I have been going, It's coming, it's coming. So finally, when I released Electric Rush, it was I had so many beautiful messages and people saying it's different to what they thought I would be coming out with as my debut single, but it was a very good surprise for a lot of people. So yeah, no, it was very exciting.
Yeah, and when you say different, I'm just interested, like, what did you perceive that people might expect you to do as your first single?
Yeah, I basically, as a high school student and growing up through my teens, I definitely explored a more classical sound with playing piano and singing at the same time. So it was a more ethereal, floaty voice that I had. And it was only in when I truly entered adulthood and went through the yuckiness of COVID where I had this sort of anger come out and go, and that's when I sort of found that I had a rockiness in my voice that um had a belt to it and had a strength that I never really knew possible. And I definitely sort of waited for this debut release to showcase it, as I wanted to keep it a surprise, and definitely people were surprised.
Yeah, well, sounds like it's such a good surprise. And as I said before, this track is great. And you mentioned like the rockier sound, but also having like the classical roots. And people have described your sound as similar to like Lana Del Rey, Meg Mac. So who are some artists that you get inspiration from?
Oh, definitely Lana Del Rey, Meg Mac, Stevie Nicks, just the whole vibe of the 70s and that chasing freedom. I think that's so powerful in this day and age where we are pretty closed off as a society, but we have so many opportunities as well. So definitely I love a nostalgic hit of a vibe. So Stevie Nicks, Adele, just her voice just really, really cuts in deep. Um, Basically, songwriters who share their voices from the heart and really, really authentic. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what's gonna make people connect with you and your music as well. And it's authentic, it's real, relatable. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
And I know this is only your first release, but do you perform live or how can people come out and support what you're doing?
Yeah, 100%. I feel like the songs are even more heightened when they come alive on stage. I've actually got a sold out launch party show happening on the 1st of June, but I've added a second show on the 2nd of June on the Sunday, and that's nearly sold out as well. So that's happening at Nighthawks in Fitzroy. So very, very pumped for that. We've got a full band happening. Um, yeah, and then we've got a couple of support shows coming up, but I love having the opportunity to showcase the because we've basically written enough songs to cover 2 albums. So um having the opportunity to share these songs in a live scene, it's really, really, really beautiful to see people responding to the songs in the way that it was not only intended, but a new way of sort of getting that electric feeling. And I know that's cringy to say, but it's awesome. The vibe in the room from the people who listen to the songs that we've created, it's I couldn't imagine it. It's amazing. So trying to get as many live experiences as possible, definitely.
Yes, and amazing that it's almost sold out as well. Like it's great that people are loving what you put out there. They're coming out to support you.
Yeah, no, thank you. It's important to support live music, so I'm feeling very blessed, very blessed.
Yeah, and we're really excited to see where you go from here because you mentioned that you've been working on like many songs. So what's next from here? Like, are you working on like an EP, an album, just more single releases?
Definitely. I definitely think a few more single releases before hopefully dropping an EP maybe next year. But really just seeing how it goes. We've sort of the whole songwriting process and the production process has been a really beautiful experimentation. So I'm really, really keen to keep that vibe flowing throughout my whole this whole start of the artistic journey.
Yeah. And then lastly, yes, obviously your goal is putting out more music, but is there anything else you want people to know about you or your songs that we haven't touched based on?
No, I think just support Australian music. And I've had so many people reach out and from within the music industry and through other creative industries who really resonate with the song and the message that we're spreading. But just keep supporting artists. It's a beautiful creative industry that we're in, but it's also hard. So supporting live gigs, and listening to Australian music, I would say spreading that message is really important. And then just loving what you do, having an authentic voice, not caring about all these other factors of going, oh, I wonder if people like this. I wonder if people like this. People will like it if you are spreading a voice that is authentic to you. So be yourself, and I think that's what I stand for, and it is worked for me. So yeah.
Yeah, well, as I said, we're glad to hear it's working for you, and we're really excited to see where you go from here. So thank you so much for joining me. All the best with like the new music, the live shows.
Oh, thank you, Brooke. No, thank you for this morning. I've really enjoyed it.
No worries at all. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.